Yerushalayim. We will be continuing with the Minhagim of Tefilla BeSibbur. Now we left off last time having recited the Kadeshli and Rehaya with the Tefillin on, and now we're ready to begin the prayer. Simple question, where do we start from? So you're going to say, what's the big deal? Open the Siddur, we see the beginning, Tefilla Mihnag begins with the section of the prayer which is known as the Qorbanot. Start from there. Only it's not that simple. The custom has developed not only in our community but in other Syrian communities throughout the world, that only the first minyan begins with the Qorbanot. Subsequent minyanim start from Hashem Melech. This could be for a number of reasons. Maybe just the people that frequent the first minyan were the more pious and Shema'aseh, they don't want to skip over the Qorbanot. Maybe time constraints for later minyanim. Maybe people used to say the Qorbanot on the way to the second minyanim. All possibilities. At any rate, we know that first minyan begins Tefillah Hanna or Elohim. Second minyan, if they announce 7 o'clock second minyan, we know 7 o'clock Hashem Melech. That's the way it developed, and it's very interesting. So we begin with the Qorbanot, which include many passages from Torah Sheba'al Peh, Ketoret, Ezu Mekoman. So when we conclude the Qorbanot, we say Kaddish Al Yisrael. This is a Kaddish which mourners also participate in, as well as people who have the yortzites for their parents. Now, we're going to be dedicating an entire video to Kaddishim, so we're not going to dwell on it. However, if you start from Hashem Melech, you say Hashem Melech, we can't really say Kaddish Al Yisrael, because we didn't say anything from Torah Sheba'al Peh. Therefore, we add Rabbi Hananya, so as to not the people who have to obligate to say Kaddish, they don't miss out, and we say that Kaddish. Regarding Kaddish Li, so again, if you finish praying the Tefillin, you would say Kaddish Li before Hashem Melech, or right before Baruch She'amar. Now, before Baruch She'amar, like we said in the last video, if you have to catch up, or so you could always put it off, and if you can't make it before Baruch She'amar, you could always say it after the prayer. However, don't get the impression that saying it before Hashem Melech is the proper time for a Kaddish Li. In other words, if you start with Hashem Melech, that's the proper time. But if you start at saying the Qorbanot or Hodu, you don't stop after Le'olam Odeka before Hashem Melech to put on to say Kaddish Li. You say it either before you put on before you start praying, or again before Baruch She'amar. Now, we're ready to say Baruch She'amar, but I want to say a few words, introduction, about our style of tefillah. Our tefillah is very focused on the Hazan. Now this leads to a few customs which I've developed. Number one, because everybody's focused on Hazan and they pray following the Hazan from Hashem Melech has to stand at the Teba. Qorbanot you can say from your seat, but Hashem Melech, starting Hashem Melech, they stand at the Teba. So this way, it's Kavod Sibbur, and the Sibbur could be focused on the Hazan. Secondly, everybody prays quietly. There's no din coming up from the Kahal like in other communities. Even the person next to you doesn't hear you praying. Very, very important. There are parts of the prayer where we have to answer out loud. We'll get to those when we get to them in the Tefillah. The third development as a result of our Hazan-centric prayer is that we choose Hazanim who know how to read properly, clearly, nice loud voice, they don't swallow, and especially they know how to read properly grammatically. And this is very, very important, and to our credit, our community is not tolerant of Hazanim who don't pronounce the words properly, and very often we'll let them know it in real time. And to our credit, like I said, we've developed Hazanim because of this, Hazanim that are very particular, with the Ayin and the Aleph, with the Het, and the Chaf, Bil-Le'in, Bil-Ra, the Geshim, and it's very important to select a Hazan based on these criteria. Shalom Uracha, next week, Baruch She'amar.